Hello, what you see here is the studio for Witch Art Creations, or my studio as it were. My lovely husband built it for me for my backyard. So I thought today I would take you on a little bit of a tour of what it looks like on the inside of it. Right here, these buckets that you see on the outside are things such as sea glass or found items on the beach, clay, shell, various pieces of driftwood, and then we'll just walk by the exterior quickly here. And then I have more containers here on the side, which are also all sea glass and various other items that I have found on the beach. So I'll give you a quick peek of the studio here, kind of as a whole. So welcome to the interior of my studio. I'll start by talking about the stuff on the wall, just because when you come in it looks like so much stuff. So any of the smaller paper items and these two canvases, but generally just the smaller kind of papery items that you see on the wall here. Oops, sorry, I went very quickly. Over here, or there, down there, and of course up here were make and takes that I did at the Creative Scrapbooker Carnival, or a couple classes that might have been offered through Creative Scrapbooker. This is to the right when you first come inside, and this has all of my tapes and my glues that are extras, so I'm not using at the moment. This here has different inks here, different distress inks and oxides here, the brushes, embossing, glitter, embossing tools, different flocking or infusion inks, and gelato. This desk here is probably my cleanest desk as far as the surface area goes. I know it has a lot of stuff on it, but I don't actually need a lot of workspace because I do smaller things here. I do my jewelry here, not that I make a lot of jewelry anymore, but still the odd bit. I do my keychains here, I do my pendulums here, my wind chime finishings here, kind of all that smaller, more finicky stuff. So of course I have my smaller photo box with one of my printers inside, but that just sits here. These here are all different charms that you might find on the end of one of my bookmarks, or they might be used in the pendulums or on keychains. Down here is just different glue guns. In here is just helpful magazines or coloring books, because sometimes it is fun just to color. Down here is more beads and finishings. Same with that bottom shelf. These two here are filled completely with different gemstones with some sea glass and sea items on the top. This box here is usually projects that are not complete, but that I'm working on or have ideas for. I think this drawer is just, jewelry, finishings, and tools. I'm not even sure what is in this one. Oh, again, more jewelry tools, as well as that one. Those are more finishings and gems. And then just different spray paints and different markers. So I'm going to back up out of this area here. So this corner here is my finishing corner. And then when you first come in, there's kind of this tray on the right. And my goal is to turn this into kind of like my little cafe cart, as you will, where I'd like to have a kettle and some water and some glasses and some snacks. Right now, it kind of has a mishmash of bags, empty containers, some more gems on the bottom. Really just a little bit of everything at the moment, but you know, one step at a time, we're getting there. This table here is kind of my embossing, or pardon me, my resin prep area. And so I will put parchment paper on it, or use some of the plastic mats. And my various resins are here with the measuring cups, the timers, more measuring cups, and all of that. And so this is where I would do most of my mixing and some of my coloring for my resin work. This table here, which is the messiest surface of all my tables, and the oldest of all my tables, is used for pouring resin, but when I do that, I have parchment paper over top. It is also where I have done my mixed media work for years: oils, paints, textures, you name it, it has been done on this desk. But right now it is primarily used for pouring my resin. And so my resin molds are all in these two containers here. Yes, I have a lot. I'm well aware. And then this here is kind of my resin drying station. So it would have parchment paper. I've got one of the heat mats there underneath for it. And so that would be primarily where the resin sits to dry until I know how it's going to be created. And then I will come forward or come afterwards once it's completed and add more color detail to it and find the piece of driftwood for it and matching crystals depending on what I would like the theme of it to be. Now underneath this table here is, the top one there is my steampunk stamps, but the rest is various papers according to theme, generally steampunk, fantasy, tea, ocean, kind of mixed. And then this is mostly colored papers, as well as different textured papers and cards. And then that stuff back in the corner is all my stuff that comes out at Christmas for making Christmas cards. Now this shelf up here is kind of a mismatch of everything, but thankfully it all makes sense to me. So this part here is anything to do with wax pouring, so making the different seals and stuff. This is kind of general stamps, general words, cutting, spraying, a couple kits I have to do. This is kind of a miscellaneous ribbon. This one here is all wood die cuts. This is mostly flowers, and that's kind of stamps with words. And then this here is all of my kind of stamping, cutting, embossing, scoring tools are all kind of right there. And then I've got my big kit here, or big shot, I never remember what it's called, with some of my tools for it here. And then that's kind of just general office-y stuff, and that's a little bit of a mix of everything. And then this here is Craft Treat and Graphic 45 and other kits that I have on the go. Down there are some different surfaces, canvases, wood canvases, and here is different metal or glass finishings for me to work with. This is the glue drawer that I have close to me at all times to work with. Some frames that I like to use, my different markers. I'm a huge Copic marker fan. Normally I store them on their side. I'm not sure why they're not at the moment, but that's okay. A little bit of paint pouring stuff, which I never really did get into. I think I have too many other things on the go. This is all stencils. If they're themed, they're over there with the paper, so those are all unthemed. Distressing, quilling. This is just a project on the go. This is kind of mixed media, miscellaneous stuff in these drawers. I won't open them for you. This is my different heat guns. And then over here, this is my machine table, if you will. So I have the Cricut, I believe it's the Cricut Expression. I couldn't tell you when it's facing the wrong way, but I'm going to go with that. Sorry about my dogs barking. I think they think I'm talking to somebody. This is the Gemini machine, which I can use for embossing. The Brothers Scan and Cut, which is so helpful to help save my poor arthritic fingers. The Silhouette Curio, which I have had for a long time, but I'm not actually that familiar with and really should do some video research to watch how to use. And then the Silhouette Cameo is back here. I have a little mini iron back there. And of course the Cricut Joy is in here. So this has the various foils, metallic or vinyls, cords, some die cuts, and some punches in here. The stuff down there are theme projects that I have coming up or things that I want to do. So this will be for my South Africa album, that kind of thing. That pile there is not dirty laundry. It is all of the clothing that I use when I'm creating here, especially if I'm doing mixed media or resin. Some of the little items along here are gifts that I received from people or magnets from some of my vacations. Sorry, that was a made you sick tour. This board here has washi tapes, brads, pearls, kind of things that I use a little bit more often. And then that one over there has my machine mats and blades and stuff. Inside these cupboards, that's pastes and molds. Inside this one here is glitter sprays. These are flowers and butterflies. So again, that is the creative area. Not really part of the creative space, but a huge part of my life is up these stairs here. So this space here that you can see is where I do research for my writing or work on my novels, or where I sometimes just sit to escape or do my meditation or to heal with some crystals. I even have my vision board there and some of the things that mean something to me. So again, I'll show you the view from the top. There's one of my puppies. So this is my creative space. Sorry if I made you seasick at all. I hope that you enjoyed the studio of Witch Art Creations and that you subscribe to my channel. Have an absolutely fabulous day.